Okay, guys, so for today I have a new project. You might ask yourself, what is that? Out of the 80 series Land Cruiser. It's the back carpet. So what I did is I ripped out the back carpet. I'm not sure if this is a normal thing with the 80 Cruisers or not, but mine was really kind of damp and like oily and stinky. I've never spilt anything back there. It's just always kind of been like that. So this is it turned upside down. So that's the padding, and that's the side. All right. So what I'm doing is I am putting baking soda. Baking soda. It's a nice little hack. You put baking soda on any type of cloth like material, like carpet, bed sheets, clothes, whatever. It'll soak in all of the stench, right? So one, I'm hoping that I can kind of make it smell a little better by doing that, and also the baking soda will suck up like oil and things like that. You can use baking soda if you spill a little oil on your pavement, things like that. It'll soak it up and it'll crumble, and then you can easily sweep it up. All right, guys. So now we're at the back. So this is with the carpeting up. This is what I'm guessing is supposed to be some kind of almost like a sound deadening. It is kind of oily. And here is our cargo mat. And this is just some carpet I like to use when I'm working under my cars or under my RV. I put it down just so I have something soft to lay on. Bam! So while I'm doing this, letting everything air out back here, I started to just peel up what would come off by hand, some of this padding, and quite a bit of it came up. And it comes up easily. I'm not necessarily trying to get all of it because you can see some there. Don't mind the bottle jack. But what I did notice when I pulled up the carpet is there was a little pinch or two of what looked like some rust. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to tackle this before it gets too bad. And next thing you know, I kept finding more and more. And it's just surface rust, so it's not like it's through the metal or anything. But you can see it was getting bad enough to where it was starting to gouge out the metal. So that's what rust does. Rust eventually will eat through and all of your metal, right? So you can see that's what I saw. Boom. Just like that. So underneath that, that's going to be some rust right there. And all I used was my handy dandy Milwaukee drill with a wire wheel for some of the crevices, and then I used a carbon wheel. The carbon wheel, it starts to deteriorate as it destroys the rust and paint and smooths out the metal. And I like it a little bit more because it's fatter, so I can get bigger section. And that's what it does, is it really makes this metal really smooth. So if I wanted to, I could keep going down, and it will eventually even smooth out these. So as you can see, I still have a couple spots, boom, that need to be hit. And, you know, this might be somebody's OCD or whatever, but this is an old car, so I like to hit it when I can. And I did all that. I even hit in here. I even cleaned out in there. So while I'm down here, I figured, you know what? I might as well take the rear seat out, both sides, and pull this carpet up and do the same thing to these carpets. I probably will keep them, you know, because I really don't care too much about the back. But see, this is what I was talking about. See how it's like kind of brown and I don't know. And even this is like kind of damp. There's been no rain and it's kind of like oily, but I don't have anything oily back here. And it's been like this forever. And, you know, when you lift it up, it's kind of oily and it has like a bunch of gunk. So what today is refresh day. So you guys can hang with me as I take out some of these seats. And I'm still not sure yet, but I'm trying to get the my wife on board with us just tossing these seats. We never use them, but my wife says once in a great while. She did used to use them in Guatemala, where the Cruiser's been for like the last 12 years. But if I'm taking these off, I'm probably going to grind the metal where the rust is. And I'm probably going to repaint these with probably an enamel paint, just something a little harder. Also, what I like to do is after I grind any rust off is I use the Rust-Oleum rust inhibitor. Even though I grind most of the rust off, that will destroy the rest of the rust, and then it turns into a primer, so you can paint the product right afterwards. And places like back here, it just depends. I like to use enamel paint a lot of times because it's really a tough type of paint and it's cheap. But if I have, like, say, extra black paint, whatever, I might just touch it up with black. For spots like these, I will probably use enamel paint as well. But say if I didn't, say if I just had a regular can of black Rust-Oleum, I'm going to use that because you're not going to be able to see this. Okay, so first thing I did is take out the 3 bolts on the one side, and these are 12s. So, now I gotta take out this one right here. Another thing that I do for older bolts like these a lot of times, if I'm going to reuse them, like I said, if I keep the seats and I put them back in, is I have a tool that you kind of screw it in. It looks like a bolt, and what it does is it goes in through these threads and it cleans them out, and I'll show you guys that as well. These aren't too bad, actually. These are really nice looking. The outsides could use a cleanup, but besides that, they're not bad. But that's pretty bad. So, another bolt back there. Huh. Out of the way. And now I can also clean up anything in here, look for any rust. This is all pretty good. And I've replaced this whole window too. Not the glass, but the rubber seal, so it's nice. I gotta do it to the other side too. The tint's coming off. Oh, look at that. Forgot to take off the seat belt. And that's a 14. Wow. Look at that. Rust bucket is what that is. Jesus. That, my friends, is why I'm doing this. That is pretty bad. Oh wow, look how nice that is underneath. I was expecting the worst. Alright, so we're back with the refresh. So I did a little painting. You can see some red hairs from the red rags. So I got red rags and I got some white rags. I've had these, but I got these at Home Depot. They're really cheap. They're like, I don't know, 50. Anyways, so I've finished the paint. So what I've used for this, again, is Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer. I use that first. It says you don't even have to really do what I did, which is grinding out any surface rust you see, but I like to. So I do that, and then I spray this everywhere, even spots that there aren't rust. Again, I necessarily might not always do that, but I have so far. This is getting a little bit more expensive now. I used to get it for like $7, $5 a can, and now it's like $10 a can. So it's kind of getting pricey, actually. But what I like about it is it destroys the rust. It literally destroys it, and then it turns into a primer. So that way you can paint right over it. And what I've started using now for paint on power objects like this is a good enamel paint. This holds up really well. It basically makes like a shell as a barrier, right? And that's why enamel paints are so good, especially oil-based like this one. I always like to use black on something like this. I've been really digging the gloss black, but I have used more of like a flat black, semi-gloss. They also have a satin. I haven't been able to find the satin in person, but I'm really curious what it looks like in person versus pictures that I've seen. But that's what it is. That's why you can see it's kind of shiny. This is also it. So what you're also seeing is I just used a degreaser, so it's not Zep. I just bought the spray bottle because I like it. It's a really good one from Home Depot. So what I do is I mix Awesomol degreaser. You can buy it at a dollar store. It works really well. I also really like Simple Green. Awesomol is really good though. So I used to use it straight, but then I realized that you can use it diluted, right? And you're just actually supposed to do it because it's really concentrated. So I put like, I don't know, maybe 10 ounces of the actual degreaser, and the rest is water. And then what I just did is I sprayed it all over everything on this, and then I scrubbed it down, and now it's pretty dry. Luckily I got some good airflow going with the windows open. I still got to take this one off. I've washed the carpet. It's over on that chair right there drying. And I got the plastic pieces out over there. I just cleaned them, and then I used 303 aerospace protectant on them. That's gonna make the plastic really pop and protect it from UV damage from fading. Alright guys, so I still have to do this side of the rear cargo area, but for this video's purpose, I'm going to cut it here because I don't want to make a very long video. I'm going to have a part 2 on this, and where you will see me paint all the rear cargo area, and you can see the final product. Let me know what you think. Going piece by piece in this 80 series, just refreshing things by painting them, getting rid of rust, and replacing things that need to. Comment below, let me know what you think. Hopefully you got something out of this video, and I'll see you on the next one.